Hi everyone, I'm Ofalango and welcome you all in Grammar in Detail. If you're new and not subscribed the channel, so please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get some more videos about grammar. Today we will be discussing the ditransitive verb spare from active voice into passive voice, how we are going to change it. Before changing this verb, we will little bit discuss the meaning of spare. Spare means when you give something or anything to someone and then you don't ask it for the next time. You say that is uh, yours forever. So for that we will be using the word spare. For example, I gave you 500 rupees and then I don't ask you to give it to me back. So that can be a sort of help to someone, etc. So before starting this, we will just put a glance on the definition of ditransitive verbs. Di means to, transitive which can be changed into passive voice, and verb which shows an action. Those verbs which need two objects, keep in your mind those verbs which need how many objects? Two objects, and can be changed in passive voice in four ways, and we can change them in passive voice into four ways are called di or ditransitive verbs. Ditransitive verbs need one direct object and one indirect object. What is direct object? All non-livings. And what is indirect object? All livings. So all non-livings are called direct object and all livings are called indirect object. Ditransitive verbs or ditransitive verbs need two objects to complete their meaning. If you put one of the objects, the meaning won't be clear and understandable. For example, I say you spare me. Now what you spare me? So for that, the second object is necessary. Or if I say you spare $10. Now to whom you spare $10? So for that, you need to bring the direct and indirect and direct object together. You will say you spare me $10. So that is what you have given to me, and then you do not ask it for the next time. So for that we'll be using them. Now you spare me what? $10. You spare $10 to whom? To me. So for that, both objects are necessary. Mostly we bring indirect object at the beginning and direct at the end. So if you want to say that indirect, I want to bring in the place of direct. If you want to shuffle the places, so for that, with indirect object you will be putting a preposition like you spare $10 to me. So this is what so for that we will be having the two ways to change them into active voice. Main target, how we are going to change them from active voice into passive voice. So for that we will be discussing the ditransitive verb in future indefinite tense, and the tense which we have, that is known as future indefinite, and it is used for past habits and actions. First we have got the simple sentences which make simple statements. You will spare her 500 rupees. Rupee is the currency of Pakistan as well as India. So for that we'll be using the currency like rupees in America, that is called dollar, and in the same way Bangladesh, that is called tikka, or over there in Pakistan and India, that is called rupees, and in Afghanistan it is called Afghani. So different countries, different currencies. For Pakistan and India will be using rupees. So you will spare her 500 rupees. You will spare 500 rupees to her. So these are the two ways to change them into active voice. But main target, how we are going to change it from active voice into passive voice. When you bring your subject, the doer of an action, when in the place of object, by you. So here by you will not be called object, it will be called here agent. And what is the definition of agent? It tells us who does an action in a sentence. So over there by you means by you this action is being done. And when you bring your subject, whether indirect object or direct object, living or non-living, at the beginning, like are becomes at when comes at the place of subject becomes she, and 500 rupees when you bring in the place of subject, no doubt it will be called subject, but it will not be called the doer of an action subject, but it will be called the title and topic subject. And what is this definition of title and topic subject? A person, place or a thing in a sentence which we are talking about is called the title or topic subject. Now see, in first and second sentence we are talking about a person, in third and fourth sentence we are talking about thing, means the money, about rupees. So that is known as title subject. And when you bring indirect object at the beginning in first and second sentence, like she. So by you comes at the beginning, 500 rupees at the end, 5 in second way, 500 rupees at the beginning, by you at the end. And when you bring direct object, the non-living at the beginning in third and fourth sentence, so by you comes at the beginning, to her at the end, to her at the beginning, by you at the end. Sentences will be in this way: you will spare her 500 rupees, you will spare 500 rupees to her. She will be spared by you 500 rupees, she will be spared 500 rupees by you, 500 rupees will be spared by you to her, and 500 rupees will be spared to her by you. Next we have got negative sentences, those sentences in which we deny the statement, reject the statement, and refuse this statement are called the negative sentences. You will not spare her 500 rupees, you will not spare 500 rupees to her. She will not be spared by you 500 rupees, she will not be spared 500 rupees by you. And over there, that is mistakenly written business, but that is what we will change it into 500 rupees. And here again, instead of that, we will be writing 500 rupees by you. And 500 rupees will not be spared by you to her, and 500 rupees will not be spared to her by you. Next we have got interrogative sentences. Those sentences in which we ask questions, put queries, are called interrogative sentences. Will you spare her 500 rupees? Will you spare 500 rupees to her? Will she be spared by you 500 rupees? Will she be spared 500 rupees by you? Will 500 rupees be spared by you to her, and will 500 rupees be spared to her by you? Next we have got the formal sentences. Those sentences in which we ask questions, deny the statement, and we ask them in a formal and polite way are called formal sentences. Will you not spare her 500 rupees? Will you not spare 500 rupees to her? Will she not be spared by you 500 rupees? And will she not be spared by you 5,000 rupees? And will she not be spared 500 rupees by you? Will 500 rupees not be spared by you to her? Will 500 rupees not be spared to her by you? Last we have got informal sentences. Those sentences in which we ask questions, deny the statement, and we ask them in a informal way. We use them with our friends in a friendly atmosphere, with juniors and youngers. Will not short form is want. Won't you spare her 500 rupees? Won't you spare 500 rupees to her? Won't she be spared by you 500 rupees? Won't she be spared 500 rupees by you? Won't 500 rupees be spared by you to her? And won't 500 rupees be spared to her by you? So these are the sentences of ditransitive verb spare, from active voice into passive voice in future indefinite tense. Hope you got today's lecture. Wish you best of luck. See you next time with next lecture. Goodbye.